Facebook's a go.
Facebook's
Awesome.
go. Still working on Instagram. It's coming up. Well, Merry Christmas, and there it is. Yes, Instagram just showed up. So, happy holidays.
Yes.
Merry Christmas Eve.
Monday afternoon live.
Monday Christmas Eve live. So, we wanted to get on early. Both Kate and I have our family's stuff. You got stuff with your family.
I absolutely do.
You're going to be doing what this evening?
We just pretty much just chill. We do a lot of things on what we call Christmas Adam. So if any of you out there are Bible believers, then Adam came before Eve. So the day before Christmas Eve is Christmas Adam in my family.
Okay.
So we do jammies and all that kind of stuff. Because now that we're older, all us immediate kids, we've got families and stuff of our own. So Christmas Eve is a little bit separate, but my family gets together and does everything Christmas Adam. So tonight's chill.
Christmas Adam. Yep. I love that.
What about you, Dean? What are you doing tonight?
Well, tonight is Christmas Eve. Lots of games and activities, singing, caroling, and of course the Christmas story for our family. We
awesome.
Celebrate the Christmas story. So very excited to have those opportunities this evening. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And
thank you.
Merry Christmas to you tomorrow.
Merry Christmas. Oh,
and Merry Christmas to all of you guys.
the best.
Thank you. So we wanted to get on it early today, give you guys a chance to get your preparations and whatnot. But the thing that was important to us today was to talk about traditions.
Yes. And how important they are in our lives as humans, right?
Absolutely. And it is important for us to have traditions or to create traditions. And traditions are a part of creating culture. Culture is an important part of creating the life and the family and the community that you want to have. Oftentimes we're thinking, well, how do I create community? How do I create an environment where people are attracted to me, where people want to be a part of who I am? And one of the things that we find is that traditions have historically been an important part of culture, whatever culture it is. So when we start thinking about those things, of course, tonight being a very important traditional holiday for Christianity, as well as there's wonderful things with Hanukkah and Passover and all the other different holidays that are out there. And it's important to have pieces of tradition. Now, there are specific traditional pieces that come with holidays, but there's also traditions that we can create of our own.
Right.
Like Adam.
Christmas Adam.
Christmas Adam. That's a wonderful tradition. And so Christmas Adam is a wonderful tradition that your family has. And it's a way that it's the beautiful part. Well, let me back up. One of the things that's so important about culture and having culture and tradition in our lives and in our families is simply this. It's the story that we tell. And life is all about creating your story. Life is all about creating the story that you want. Now, many of us focus on the story that was given to us. Many of us focus on the story that impacted us. Oftentimes when we tell our story, it's more of a tragedy. And for some, it's a comedy. But one of the things that I challenge people is to create a story of triumph, a story of pride and something that you can pass on to your children, something that's a legacy. And so when you have these Christmas traditions, you can always go back and you can look at the legacy that you left behind. One of the Christmas traditions that we had in our family for many years was the scavenger hunt using Christmas ornaments. And we'd place them all over, and then I'd write a poem that would match and lead you to each ornament, and then they had to go and it always took them outside for a period of time that got them cold, and then they came in for hot chocolate.
Oh, fun.
So that's a tradition that my children will be able to talk about and hopefully use if they choose to with their children.
Right. And that's the interesting thing about traditions, I think. There's some that we can choose to keep and pass on to the next generation, and then there's some that we may just be like, yeah, no, that wasn't super important to me, and I'm not going to keep that one.
Right.
Which is super powerful.
So what are some of the traditions you're going to keep?
As I pass on to my family, I love the Christmas Eve pajama thing. I know a lot of people have that tradition, and it's super fun. Like, it's it's fun to have, like, my mom's always the one that has picked out the pajamas, and
Right.
so that's kind of her role as the matriarch in our family. And so to see where her heart has led her and what things she's kind of picked out. My little niece got a little My Little Pony pajamas last night, which is so fun, just super fun. So I think that one's really great. My extended family, we also get together on my mom's side, and we do the caroling thing, and my grandfather reads a story called The Selfish Giant that is a cool depiction of the Christ child and stuff like that. And so I want to keep those things too, like whether or not the Nilsons get together in 40 years or not, but my family, we can get together and read that story that my grandfather has read my whole life.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yep.
And so those of you that are out there thinking about your traditions and what are the traditions that you want to hang on to, the traditions that really have impacted you, some of the ones that you want to get behind you. And Merry Christmas to you, Laura. And having those wonderful traditions is a part of being tangible, which is another important part of our life as we're trying to create the life that we want, the life we want to create to impact us. We want a life that is tangible, a life that gives people something to connect to, something to hang on to. And most importantly, traditions are very important to help us become relatable.
Yes, I love it. I'm just thinking like back eons, how people would sit around the fire, and talk about their traditions, and really that generational move forward through is just cool.
Yeah,
that we
it's
still
the
do that.
story,
I love
isn't it?
that.
It's
Yeah.
the story. And I remember that growing up, the different traditions that we would go, and as my parents would take us to the different families and the different traditions. I'll never forget the first time when we went to Idaho, where my father is from. And we went to one of our other family members, and I'd never experienced different traditions. I'd only known my traditions, and I was like, what the heck is this is different. This is so different, but it was so exciting too. And they were impactful things that came from different families that had taken on. And so those are some of the things I cherish about my family. And so beyond the holidays, we can create traditions in our own lives as well. And we can create culture in our life that gives people something to attach to, but also impacts us in a very powerful way.
That just reminded me, my family, we have a birthday tradition at people's birthdays that we actually just recently switched up as I've gone through the seminar process. And we used to go around the table and say things that we loved about each other. And through my process this last year of personal development, I've learned that love is expressed, like just saying I love you. There doesn't have to be a because
Right.
at the end of that. So in talking with my family, we decided to change it to talking about favorite memories that we had with that person over the year.
Yes.
And that's been a super cool change in tradition. I mean, we still cherish and talk about the person whose birthday it is, but to switch it from the because to, and these are awesome moments that I have really loved experiencing with you this year.
That is so cool.
It's been powerful.
That is actually very cool. And it just reminds me, one that my sister-in-law Pam uses, which is just phenomenal. She has a recipe box, and through her children's upbringing as they've been growing up, all my nephews and nieces, she writes down on an index card little memories about that child, about that person. And so she's got this recipe box just full. And so on their birthday, she whips out the cards and starts reading funny stories about them, funny things that they did when they fell down or when they wrote on the walls with crayon or ate their boogers. Sorry, Pam. Things like that. It was really cool. And so that is, again, that's one of those traditions that gives family the ability to connect.
Yes.
And to be able to go, this is relatable, and it is something that I feel connected to, and that's very important.
Well, it's all those things that at weddings get whipped out and paraded around about the couple, as they were. I think that's just really cool.
It is. Yeah. It's important that we have those things, and one of the things that always impacts me is when we go to funerals. And it's intriguing to me how I always thought about how so many people wish that they could be loved the way somebody is when they pass. And we think about that a lot, oh God, look at this person. We romanticize the person, and we have all the pictures and all the things, the memories, all the things that they did and everything that they created, that legacy.
Right.
And it's such an important thing. But wouldn't it be great if we could celebrate those things as a part of a tradition or a part of a culture without having to wait for somebody to leave,
die.
right? But we do that. We sometimes wait, and then people long for that. They're like, oh man, I wish I could have people care about me. I wish I had. And sometimes we have to create that opportunity through culture, through celebration, through traditions to do that.
So hey, I just was thinking, as you guys watch this, because people will be watching at all different times, not live with us, as you watch it, whenever you do, tap in the comments. We'd love type in the comments.
Yeah. If you tag.
Double tap that, like it, but then also put in the comments some of your traditions. I would personally really be interested in seeing that.
Absolutely.
That would be really cool if
you'd
share that with us.
Yes, definitely share some of those Christmas traditions or holiday traditions, whatever it may be. And it would be a wonderful thing. Speaking of, there's my brother knocking, messaging in, wishing me Merry Christmas. So it's an amazing time of our year, an amazing thing for us to celebrate. And one of the things that we are so grateful for here at Turning Leaf is the culture that we've been able to create here, a culture of growth, a culture of acceptance, a culture of love, a culture of, as you said, personal development. It's really important to empower yourself every year. And as we move towards that New Year's, I know, a week from today, New Year's Eve, mind-blowing. A week from today, we're going to be in New Year's Eve. And so as we start to, Merry Christmas, we should not wait. Merry Christmas, absolutely, we should definitely not wait. Thank you. But as we think about New Year's coming up, the one thing I really want to challenge everybody with is to be thinking about what you want next year to look like. I want you to be thinking about what are the traditions, what is the culture that I want to create. Now I'm going to spend just another minute on culture here, and I want to talk about something really important. We can create two types of cultures. There's a culture of exclusivity and a culture of inclusion. And we can be inclusive. We can create a culture that includes people. Now, when I include people, that doesn't mean that I just have to let them walk all over me or disrespect others in my life. That's not that inclusive culture. But it's a culture that I can include people in, or I create that exclusive culture. Exclusive cultures are very dangerous. Those are ones where, well, if you don't fit in my box, if you don't fit in the way I want my life to look or the way you are, then you are out.
Right.
And we wall them off instead of using boundaries. When we create that inclusive culture, we create a boundary, we create an environment that says, hey, this isn't healthy. When you become healthy or when I become healthy again, we can come back together.
I like that.
But we got to create an inclusive culture, and we do that through the celebrations, the activities, and the boundaries that we keep with the traditions.
And love, right?
Most importantly, love. Love, like I always say, the Beatles got it right, man.
All you need it.
All you need is love. It is. One of the wonderful things about this holiday, the holidays themselves, it causes us to slow down. It causes us to really take a moment, take a beat, sometimes get on our knees and really start to think about the things that are important to us, the people that are important to us. And we can start to cherish the life that we've been given, the life that we've been able to be handed. I think about how important mothers are in our lives and the role that they play, the lives that they gave us. They took 9 months to nurture. They took 18 years to keep you from walking off a ledge, stepping into traffic, and doing all other things to keep you alive. And I think about what a blessing your life is and what a blessing you are. And there are some of you out there that are watching that may feel alone, may feel disconnected, or may not feel loved, but I'm here to tell you you are. And we're thinking of you, and we love you, and you are important, and you need to remember that you're important. And sometimes when you're scared and you're alone and you're hurting and you want to isolate yourself and bury yourself away, the most important thing you can do is reach out, because there are people out there that are wanting and willing to love you, but you have to get out of that comfort zone. You have to get out of that mindset that nobody cares, nobody wants you, because we do, and we love you.
Absolutely.
And we accept you for who you are.
I love that. That was super beautiful, Dean. Talk about the ultimate, like, exclusion versus inclusion, right? Like when we wall ourselves off and hide away and start to like be alone and lonely, that's exclusive, right?
Yep.
And then inclusion is reaching out and
Yes.
making connections.
Do something for somebody. Do something special. Do something and reach out. That's the best thing to do. We don't do it for the pats on the back. We don't do it for the accolades or the love or the appreciation. Sometimes it's the quiet little things. It's the seeing the person that's homeless or the people that are struggling and just reaching out in a very quiet way that nobody knows. But I will tell you that when you do those things, when you reach out to those that are in need and you are that voice, that one echo that helps them know they're loved, that in and of itself is why you are here and why you're important. So we are very grateful for this Monday. Hello, Tori. It's good to see you. We are so excited. We're excited for the upcoming. As you can see, the digs behind us, it's a little different.
Yep, we're in a new space.
Moved into our new place this weekend. Instead, for those of you that have come to our office, instead of being in building 22, we're now in building 23 in suite 204. So those of you that will be showing up for workshops, seminars, sessions, etc., 204, building 23 right across the parking lot. So happy holidays.
Yes.
Kate, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Dean. You too. And to you guys out there.
Merry Christmas.
And a super happy new year. We've got lots of exciting stuff coming up in 2019, and we cannot wait to include you in everything we have going on.
Yes. Make sure you get into that goals and intentions workshop. It's going to be amazing.
Lit!
That's what the cool kids say. So again, happy holidays. All the wonderful love and traditions. The most important thing, people, love.
Yep.
Give love. Love, 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 love. Please give love and acceptance, but most importantly, with you.
And we love you.
We do.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy New Year.